and welcome to In-Game Chat for Saturday, October 28th, 2017. It's Season 11, Episode 41. I'm Scott.
I'm RJ.
That's it. Matt is not with us this week. Nate is not with us this week. Sarah's not with us this week. But I think Nate is... There's a possibility Nate will start making these regularly.
Yeah.
But Matt will be back with us next week, by the way. If you want to... well, let me do this first. Pay no attention to what's on this clapperboard because I did not... I forgot a lot of things for some reason. I forgot to update the clapperboard. I forgot to open up my news notes so I could read my scripts and things. So, yeah, I don't know.
I'll blame the fair.
I'm just way off on things, but let me do this first. There, that's done. So anyway, if you want to get in touch with us, why, I have no idea at this point. Our phone number is 334-272-9228, 334-272-9228. Check out ingamechat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. Make sure all my stuff's on silent. You can find us on Twitter at InGameChat. You can also find us on Facebook. You can email us, everyone, at ingamechat.net. We are streaming right now on Twitch. Head over to twitch.tv. You can type in the search bar at the top. Look for In-Game Chat. Then you can watch us while we broadcast. You can also join us in the chat room while we broadcast as well and see everything happen as it happens. Something they want us to do for the rest of the shows on this station, but I can't leave my computer here that long. So... get around to it at some point. Welcome to the show, everyone. Yeah, I feel a little discombobulated there because I didn't have my show notes open. I didn't have the clapperboard ready. Clapperboard hasn't become a habit yet, so I need to make it that. I just got behind on a lot of things today because I put together the news stuff here while I was here at the radio station, getting that together. I was moving slow. The rain and everything we had, I was just not really.
But you've been busy. I know. You've been busy.
Well, I was busy, but I also was like, I don't feel like doing anything. I kept feeling like putting things off. I really wanted to not do anything today. The rain and everything was just nice. Mm-hmm. Just listen to the rain, binge Stranger Things 2.
I haven't even started that series.
Really?
No.
You're in for some good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Binge that.
First season.
I got Mario Odyssey at home, and I haven't played it yet.
Right. Because
I didn't go home yesterday until 10 or 11. Yeah. And then even then, it was like, got to get in my exercise, and then it was like, I'm tired. I just went to bed. So.
Yeah, I know the feeling, man. I've got tons of stuff I bought that I haven't started playing yet.
Yeah, Multal brings up a good point. Just before we went on the air, I was checking out one of the forums, one of the gaming forums, and somebody put in a thing about, hey, there's a price error on Middle-earth Shadow of War at CD Keys. And so I ran over there as fast as I could to take a look at it. And sure enough, it was active. $6.69 for Middle-earth Shadow of War Silver Edition, which I don't know what that means, but the Silver Edition.
The regular price is what?
Right, let me click on it and I can tell you because now it gives me the regular price. In fact, they're out of stock right now. Regular price is $57.59. But I picked... This is a game that works not only on Xbox One, but will also work on Windows 10.
Nice.
So I can play the PC version when I upgrade to Windows 10. I have not done that yet.
You're not the only one.
There's a certain program on my computer. I think I can get around it, and I'm going to try and get around it because I would like to upgrade to Windows 10. And now that I can buy games to play on my Xbox One that also play on Windows 10, yeah, I should really do that. So, but yeah, it's regular $57, and I got it for $7. I think the error. Somebody was asking, but I think the error was probably made that Middle-earth Battle of Mordor and Middle-earth Shadow of War, they look very, very similar as far as just glancing at the title card for them. Mm-hmm. With the exception of the words Shadow of War and Battle for Mordor.
Yeah.
or of Mordor, or whatever it was. There's something very similar about the two. I really have to look closely whenever I glance at something and be like, is that
I'm sure I get the right game.
Is that Shadow or is that Battle? Which one is that, And lately, obviously, it's been Shadow because that's the new game. But I have a feeling somebody mispriced that because they may have thought it was the previous game, which the previous game you can find in the Game of the Year edition for like $5.
Yeah.
So that seemed to work out, and I think maybe that's what happened. So, but I was rushing to get that in, and then it wasn't so bad. But I posted the link in our G chat that we have with the rest of the group. I posted the link to it, and I was like, "Hey, massive price error, get to it." Matt couldn't get to it. He said, "I can't get into the site." But then I copied the download code that they had sent me. And before I went to redeem that, I jumped into our chat room here on Twitch, and I said, "Hey, big price error," and then I hit paste and then enter, and it posted my redeem code. And then I was frantic at this point. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't know how to delete the comment out of our chat room. And so I ran to I had to figure out how to redeem a code online for your Xbox. Mm-hmm. And I had to redeem that code as fast as I possibly could so that nobody else... I don't think there were very many people in the room at the time, nor would they know exactly where to go and redeem that code. But yeah, I got it redeemed and all is well.
Well, you're an admin, right?
I am, but I don't know how... That doesn't mean anything.
You just clear the chat.
Does that clear it for everybody?
I did it by accident before, and everyone was wondering what was going on with the comments. That were gone.
I thought it just cleared it for me whenever I wanted to get the filler out of the way. I didn't know it cleared it for everybody.
Yeah, I did. I hit it by accident once, and the whole chat room was just
well.
gone.
I could have done that, but at this point now it doesn't matter. I got everything redeemed. It's all good. We're set to go, so everything's good. But I think that was the other thing that was like just hectic and frantic and everything else. Yeah. That's why I didn't pay attention that the show before us ended 2 minutes earlier than it normally does. So I didn't have anything in there. That's why you heard the news play, and then you heard music because I was trying to catch up with our time a little bit. Yeah, so just a little flustered, little out of flux there. Multal says the Silver Edition includes Slaughter Tribe Nemesis expansion, Outlaw Tribe Nemesis expansion, and a Silver War Chest.
Oh, you got a good pickup then.
Did I? Let's enter that. Let me please enter a valid date. Oh, I hate you. Validate. I clicked on the link that Moltop provided, which is basically taking me to the Steam page. Do not play the trailer. It's the one below. Okay, so there's base game Shadow of War.
Okay.
Then there is Shadow of War Gold, which is $100, and the Shadow of War Silver on Steam right now is $80. So I got the Silver Edition. I have no idea what comes with Gold. I don't really care. I got the game for $7. I don't care.
I don't know, probably some, artwork, soundtrack, I don't know, something else.
Oh, in the Gold Edition? No, it's probably... Why don't they give you descriptions of what the thing is on Steam? That's really annoying, Steam, by the way. I don't know. I think it's all the expansions, but I think it's extra, like, in-game money.
Okay.
More in-game money to buy more loot boxes, because that's a thing. So, anyway, like I said, I'm not complaining. Because $7
as opposed to $58, yeah.
Yes, I am totally fine with that, and glad I got in on it. That was fantastic. So, Gold Edition includes the Slaughter thing, which is what I got in mine. Mm-hmm. The Outlaw thing, which is what I got in mine. The Blade of Galadriel story expansion.
Galadriel?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
The Desolation of Mordor story expansion, and a gold war chest. Okay. So two more expansions and a gold chest instead of silver. 2 more expansions than what I got. So, which is fine. I don't care. I am totally fine with what I got. So, that's fantastic. I love it. I love it when stuff like this happens. It's fantastic to be around whenever things like that just happen for you. Yeah, that's great. So, anyway, I haven't really played a lot of games. To talk about the games that we have been playing, which is usually how we kick off the show, I haven't been playing a lot of games. I know Lethal Migraine is in there, and he's probably going to leave the room when I tell him this. but I played Destiny 2 for one day. Well, I played Destiny 2 on PS4 for one day. I played it Tuesday. Did I play it with you on? No, I didn't play it with you on Tuesday.
The last time we played was me.
We ran it on Saturday night, I think.
Yeah.
After the show, we ran you through all three characters through the Nightfall.
Yeah, all three of my main and all my alts.
Yeah.
Through the Nightfall. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, have you run that yet? At all?
Not this one. Not this one. I think it's the arms dealer.
Yeah, we should pop back on and do that because it was a quick and easy run.
Okay.
It was easier than last week's run, and not only that, the prestige version, the hard mode of it, also easier than last week's run. So get you some good stuff. So I played Destiny 2 on PS4 for one night, Tuesday night. I ran through everything. Everything that is offered with the reset, and I got my one character that I'm playing on there, I got him up to 305. Okay. So I maxed him out. So for me, now it's just popping in just once a week to run through the stuff and maybe get better weapons that I feel more comfortable being at 305 with. Like right now, I'm putting on what can get me to 305, and it's not weapons that I really want to use all the time.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
So yeah,
I'm going through that now, actually.
So yeah, I'll probably do that to get everything, just to kind of get everything up there. What'll be great is when I run my alts, those weapons that are in the 300s and 305s, I can just move over to those guys. They're gonna move up fast. So yeah, I played it one night. Then, let's see, STM. Oh, STM Fuller says he's not watching the stream. Okay, but Moltau can see the stream. Okay, that's good. Yeah, do an F5 there for you, STM Fuller, so hopefully you can see the stream. We are, as far as I know, broadcasting. Moltau's watching, so that means I know that we're broadcasting.
We're up.
Because we're good. So, so then, Tuesday comes out and Destiny 2 is released on PC, and I'm reading not really reviews, but I'm reading all the great things about how great it looks and everything else. And I watched one of the Digital Foundry videos where they do comparisons, which there is really no comparison between PS4 and PC, but they do the comparison stuff. And I forgot about frame rates and all this other. I'd forgotten how good it looked on PC watching those videos. And so I went into Best Buy the next day on Wednesday, and I have accrued a ton of credit at Best Buy. I've been saving it up. I originally was saving it up so I can get a drone, but now I think I'm saving it up to knock off money on a 4K TV that I'll eventually get. So, so I've got a nice little batch of credit at GameStop that I can use. At Best Buy, yeah. So I went there and picked up Destiny 2, used my credit, so basically didn't pay anything for the game. Took it home, installed it, played it, and I played that Wednesday night, and I played it a little bit on Thursday, but I haven't played it since. There's just been because I didn't play anything. Like I said, I didn't play anything Friday. I've got Mario Odyssey to play, but I didn't play it. I've got I now have Shadow of War. Yeah. I also have Wolfenstein 2. Which I bought back in June when E3 announced it, and we found a great deal at CD Keys again for $30. It was $35, and I had some kind of credit for like a small percentage off, which knocks it down to $34.
Right.
And I picked it up. So now I have that. So I have plenty of stuff to play, at least now. All this stuff released on Friday. Shadow of War, obviously, I just picked up right now, but the Mario game, the Wolfenstein 2 game, those all released on Friday.
Is Friday starting to be the new release date for games?
I don't know what it is about this Friday, but yeah, something like that. Not only that, but Stranger Things 2 came out on Friday too, as well. So it's been a hectic day. One single day. Yeah. Like on Friday you had the iPhone X pre-orders went live at like 2 a.m. for us. Mario Odyssey came out. Assassin's Creed Origins came out. Wolfenstein 2 came out. Stranger Things Season 2 came out. For us locally, just for people who obviously aren't local, most of the people in the chat room who aren't local, we have something that's very big here that goes on for about a week. It is the fair. And that started yesterday, which is the reason that I could not play anything. I had to go work our radio station's booths at the fair. So I was there last night until 9, but probably didn't get home till around 10. And then I have to do that tonight. So once I'm done here at the station, once I'm done with this show at 6, I have to run over to the fairgrounds and work our booth again until 9. So I won't be able to play any Destiny with you, but I bet if Josh is on or something like that, hit him up, man, and run through that Nightfall. It is such an easy thing to do. And you'll get a lot of stuff from it.
Hey, question about Destiny. When you went to the
Yeah.
PC, did anything transfer for you from Bungie.net?
No. Other than the clan stuff that we have.
Okay.
I could see the clan. Like I had already connected my BattleNet account, my PC Bungie account, to our clan. And so when I logged in and I went to my character screen and I scrolled over, I could see our clan achievements and everything that we have done.
Right. Okay.
But nothing carried over because that's just not how it works for them. Nothing at all.
So you had to start from scratch on your character?
Yes.
Oh,
I had to
wow.
remake my characters completely.
Wow. Okay.
I started this time. I posted a note in the in our chat room that we have just amongst us, and I said, "Did everybody, when they started playing Destiny 2, did everybody stick with their main? Like, if you played a Titan through Destiny 1 and everything else, did you start a Titan on PC? Just played what you were familiar?" James said he did the same thing. Matt said he did the same thing.
Yeah.
He went with Warlock, and for us on console, we pretty much did the same thing as well.
Right.
Between D1 and D2. I was a Warlock main through the entire thing, and I picked Warlock for the second
I
one.
don't know if it was hard not to because everything transferred from one. Last thing I did was on one was play as a Titan and stuck the level and everything and all the
It did,
look,
but
the look of the character was still there. So
it did, but I had characters created for all three of the classes, so Titan, Hunter, and a Warlock, and so, but the one that I played the most in Destiny 1 was my Warlock character, and that's the same one I picked up with Destiny 2. However, on PC, I decided to go Hunter first. I knew James was Titan, and I knew that Matt was playing a Warlock, and I was like, you know what, let me go Hunter. They're doing that, I'll go Hunter on this one. So that's what I did. And I'm going to make all my characters female, not that it matters. But after that discussion that we had with Sarah last week, I realized that all my characters were male, and I said, let's make them all female. And so I'm going to make all my characters on PC female.
Okay.
And go that way with it. But not that it matters, because honestly, depending on how you have the settings, you really never see your character too much. Cutscenes, yes, but I've been skipping cutscenes on PC since I've seen them all on
Yeah, or if you have the option
console.
of taking your helmet off in non-combat zones, which I do
Right.
all the time. That's pretty much the only times you ever see your character's face.
I leave them on in non-combat zones because most of the helmets that I want to see what the helmets look like, because the exotics and different helmets like that. So I usually leave them on because I don't really spend a lot of time in the social space. When I do, it's while I'm waiting on somebody, or it's me looking at one of the vendors there, which again does not put you in a third-person perspective. It puts you in a menu system.
Yeah.
So I never had that setting. The setting is off by default, apparently, when you start a game on PC. So, yeah, the PC version is just beautiful. It is amazing looking. It is so beautiful looking, and it RJ, the feel of shooting a gun with a mouse and keyboard, and getting that precise, that accuracy. Like, I have it exactly where I want it because your mouse is moving that aim,
Cursor, yeah.
and it's just boom, boom, boom. Oh, the amount of ammo that I don't waste playing PC is amazing.
The way you talk about it, it's going to be hard for you to go back on PS4, isn't it?
Nah, I don't know. I haven't played too much on PC. I haven't even finished the story on PC yet. I just finished rescuing Cade off of Nessus.
Nessus, yeah.
Yeah, just finished that. So I really haven't done anything else. So, I mean, right now I have a nice gap of time between when anything right now on console, I have other than kind of going through and getting better weapons, I have no other reason to play it.
Yeah.
And other than, helping out our clan and stuff, getting you guys moved up and through the ranks and that sort of thing. We get enough people that we can do some raid Wednesdays or something like that. I'm all for it. Or we can all do a raid as a group. That's fine. I'd love to do that. And I think eventually we will get to that point.
Good, because I haven't done a raid yet.
Yeah. But I don't feel like I really look at that and I'm like, I got time to kill now. Mm-hmm. And I say I've got time to kill. I just listed off a bunch of games that came out. So, I mean, I've got time to play the PC version and to kind of do what I did on PS4s, rank them up all the way through. I'm going to hold off on my alt characters until they announce the double XP stuff, which they will be doing towards the end of Season 1. Mm-hmm. At that point, I'll play my alt characters and they'll rank up real fast.
Right.
The point of Destiny is to not rank up your characters through or play the story over and over again or something like that. The point of Destiny is to jump on it for a day out of a week or a couple of days out of a week to run your characters through the weekly updates that they give. And then you're done with it, and then you move on. Mm-hmm. But I've got to get them up to being week ready. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rather than chasing these other goals, like we're doing, like I have been doing up until now, where it's like I got to continue to increase my level and get better weapons and everything else. I think I'm at a point now where I'm good until they do that, and I can run through my other characters. So with that, I have time to play the PC version, or I have time to play these other games, which I will. I know the Lethal Migraine. Stop talking about Destiny 2. I get it. I plan to. I just have to. I have to find some time away from all these other things that I've got going on, and that will likely be tomorrow. So yeah, I doubt it'll be tonight, but it'll probably be tomorrow because I'm anxious as hell to play some Super Mario Odyssey. It has been forever since I played a Mario game on a console. I played Mario 3D World. I played handheld Marios all over the place, but I did not play a Mario game on the Wii U. I did not play Mario Galaxy. I think I may have rented it or played a little bit of it at somebody else's house or something, but I didn't play my Wii.
During that time, was there any Mario game that motivated you, that made you like want to play it? Nothing that held your interest or grabbed you?
I'll tell you what happened was I played Mario Sunshine and I hated it on the GameCube. I didn't like it. And that kind of threw me off of playing anything other than like fun party games like Mario Kart, Mario Tennis, there was a bunch of Mario stuff on the GameCube. And that's the only stuff I would ever play that had Mario in it. But Mario's had plenty of other things. I never played Luigi's Mansion on GameCube. I played Super Mario Sunshine and I hated it. Super Mario 3D World on the DS, which I played, and a couple of other Mario handheld iterations. New Super Mario Brothers, I think, was one that came out on the handhelds that was really fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I never played, I rarely ever played my Wii, which is where Galaxy was, and then I never had a Wii U to play until recently, and I still haven't played that. So, I'm really anxious to play Mario Galaxy. I want it. Everything about it looks like I will have so much fun playing it. But I don't know, so I really want to play that. Wolfenstein 2, I really want to play. That's a nice little chunk of game that Mario is filled with, not necessarily side quests, but there's a ton to do in Mario. Wolf 2 is just play that story, go from point A to point B, play the story, do your thing. And I'm really looking forward to something like that. It's been a while since I played anything like that, where you just go from point A to point B. I played Old Blood, or New Blood. Which one was it?
The Old Blood.
Old Blood. I played Old Blood that went that way, although I hated the aspect of them throwing in the supernatural element of what they were throwing in there. I didn't like that at all. But yeah, and now I have Shadow of War. I'm hoping when Black Friday rolls around, I might pick up some of these other games that came out. I did pick up South Park, by the way.
Okay.
I think I tweeted that out on our Twitter account. I picked up South Park Steelbook Edition, and I picked up 2 extra Steelbooks with it, Prey and Ark.
Yeah, just the books.
But they were just the cases. There were no games in there, but Best Buy had them, and so I picked them up.
And I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't know that was either. Yeah. I said I was I was at Best Buy and I was looking behind the grate because they didn't have these sitting out among the games themselves. I was like, hey, can you open that up? I'm trying to see what these steelbooks are. And he pulled out Prey and he's like, yeah, I think that's just the case. I was like, really? Is that for sale? He's like, yeah, we've got another one out there on the thing for Ark. And I said, oh, okay. So I ran back and I found that. And they also had Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which is in a steelbook, but they didn't have that separately.
No,
and
it was in a collector's item or something.
I was not interested in picking that up.
Yeah.
What was another one? Tekken 7 had a steelbook.
Nice.
And I am not interested in picking that up, other than maybe the steelbook itself. Love steelbooks. Love them. So, but I'm sorry, I should say that I did play a little bit of South Park. Not much, but a little bit. Enjoyed what I did play and looking forward to the long haul of that game, because that seems like it's going to be quite a time investment to play. So, anyway, we're going to take a break because I just spent almost 30 minutes talking about games that I played, and even though I only said I played one game, I was able to fill in 30 minutes of that amount of time. We're going to come back and talk to RJ and find out what he played coming up after the break. Again, this is... Oh, man. RJ, talk to the fine folks for a second while I fix something.
Okay.
Just talk to... I got to fix something.
All right. Well.
I'm completely...
World-class preparation again?
Yeah, totally.
What happened with the music?
It's hard. Well, it's downstairs. I just got to send it up here.
Okay.
It's ready to go. Thank God I took care of that.
How many years have we been doing this? Over a decade?
I know.
Yeah, okay. Well.
I know.
Yeah. While Scott does that, I'll just tell you a little bit about what I played with.
It's not gonna take long.
No, it's not gonna take long at all. Just Destiny 2 still hunting for a certain weapon. So I've been doing strike after strike after strike after strike, and I'm getting to the point where a friend of mine was burned out looking for a certain weapon. You know, the amount of time I've taken trying to find this weapon, I could have deleted my character, started over from scratch, played story mode again, saved all my equipment, and then got the weapon as a reward, and then regained all my equipment and put it back to normal again. I could have done that. But as it is right now, I'm just going to be doing strike after strike until I get that weapon again.
Well, we will talk about that here in just a moment. I want to make sure all this stuff's coming up. It's all I can see the lines filling in. It's all transferring now as I put all this stuff in here. And I am so sorry that none of this stuff was ready.
Say this was a highlight reel. Don't we still do that every year?
Do a highlight reel?
Yeah, like the best of the season or something. You did that one time after a while.
No,
like a compilation of highlights. We got to do that again.
I did one for the 300th episode.
Okay,
that was annoying, and took a whole lot of time and a whole lot of listening to us and trying to find certain segments and things like that. When I made the 300th, there's about a 4-minute opening segment where I took clips from all of our shows. It kind of the evolution of us going through episode 1, 2, 3, and then all the stuff and all the people we've interviewed and everything else just leading up to the 300th. We're building on our 500th episode coming up soon, by the way.
We got a solid plan for 500, right?
I got no plan for 500th episode.
We'll get you a tux.
I'll wear a tux to the show for that. It's coming up next year, early next year. Will be the 500th episode. This is episode
491.
491, thank you. Had to look at the clapboard, which was wrong, but I knew to add one to it. This is episode 491. Whoa.
9 more weeks.
But there's not 9 more weeks left in the year, right?
Not quite. Let's see.
Close, though, isn't it?
Close. It is going to be close. Might be just at 8.
We'll do the math during the break. When we come back, we'll talk to RJ about what he's been playing. I've got music now for the last week of Halloween, which is, of course, we use scary music every time we do this. And we have a phone call, too. I'm going to put them on hold real quick and get to them after the break. Our first selection here, I never thought about it until last night. I was like, you know what? That's probably a scary game. I'm not sure. Did you ever play Manhunt?
Yes. Still got it.
Does it have any kind of horror elements or no?
Not really horror, but more suspense and hiding, hoping you don't get caught. It's more suspenseful than horror.
That works.
It's more graphic than horror. Just suspense, really.
Yeah, I think that works. Anyway, this is music from Manhunt. We'll be back with more in-game chat right after this. welcome back to In-Game Chat. Music here from Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Fitting title, just says creepy ambience. So, anyway, welcome back to the show. It is we are lacking Matt, we are lacking Nate, Sarah. It's just me and RJ doing the show today. And RJ, I spent a whole lot of time talking about pretty much nothing.
There was some substance in there. Don't worry. Don't beat yourself up over it.
Oh, look, Drunk Degenerates is in the chat room. That is Josh. Josh, since you're there, just wanted to let you know that I will not be able to play anything tonight because I have to work after I'm done here. But if you would pop on PS4 and help out RJ to run through the Nightfall, that'd be really, really good. Because otherwise I'd be jumping on there and helping you guys run it too. But run through the Nightfall, see if you can knock out another hard mode with him. Because that was... We got it in a clutch, but we could do better.
That's a time limit, isn't it?
Well, it's a hard time limit.
Oh, okay.
And actually, it's a hard time limit on both the regular and the hard mode this time. But the time limit in normal mode is about 22 minutes, I think. And the time limit in prestige mode, I think, is 17. So, yeah.
Wow.
But,
Okay.
yeah. So, run that. I really hope you guys can run that. But anyway, what have you played lately?
Well, like I said,
talking about Destiny, yeah.
Destiny 2. Still hunting for that Nameless Midnight. Still hunting for that. Afterwards, I played a little bit of Wolfenstein 2. Tried to get a little bit of that in before I came in today. First thing I noticed about the game was that how smooth it ran on my standard PS4.
What are you playing? Yeah, you're on PS4?
I'm playing on PS4.
Oh, I swallowed that really wrong. Oh, God.
You gonna make it?
No, it just created an air bubble. So, yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. How smooth it ran on the PS4. Standard PS4, it was running a smooth 60 frames a second. That's what it looked like to me. Thing is, though, that PS4 was really struggling. I mean, struggling. I mean, that thing sounded like a dentist drill or something as it was trying to spin the disc in the system or get the fans blowing everything. It was like kind of like how Battleborn sounded when I was running it at 60 frames a second.
Yeah,
and how hard the fans were blowing through the system. That's what happened with Wolfenstein 2. But I'm not aware of any settings that will let me drop the video quality down to 30 or to keep that from happening. But,
okay.
But that seemed to only happen during the movie cutscenes and things of that nature. Another first impression I got in there was that the story mode, parents are not put in a very good light in this game in the first 10, 15 minutes of the game. And there was a part in there as well where it seems like you have to make another choice. That choice you had between Fergus and I keep forgetting his name, the other soldier, Wyatt, I think his name was. Between Fergus and Wyatt, who sacrificed to Death's Head in Wolfenstein, the New Order. It seemed like it was going to make another choice. It looked like it was going to make that same choice again with Frau Engel, but I didn't get that far. I had to stop what I was doing and come here. But from what I'm getting so far, it's same old fare with Wolfenstein, man. It's a story based, get from point A to point B, like you said, get to the end. But I think I'm going to enjoy this one.
Matt said, what did he say? As far as Wolf, when I was talking about it earlier, Wolf 2 isn't pulling any punches. I've heard some things about how that game opens.
Yeah, like I said,
that game starts.
Parents are not put in a very good light in the first 10 minutes of this game.
From what I'm not going to spoil it, but from what I understand, there's a very, very strong, and when I say strong, I don't mean strong as in supportive. I don't mean strong. I mean a very
insensitive,
hard-hitting opening type thing. A very strong, forceful opening to that game. And I haven't started it yet. Another side story that I have, my CD keys issue this morning, remember?
Right.
I was talking about that. So I had bought this game back in June 26th. I know that because I've been looking over my order history with CD keys because I never got a code. Matt was like, got my code. James picked it up, got my code. I'm like, I still don't have a code. I wasn't concerned because I knew it's going to be a while before I can get around to playing it. So I gave them till Friday. Still no code. So Friday afternoon, before I left work, I put in a support ticket. Like, I don't have a code yet. And I knew it'd be a while to respond. I was okay with that because it was going to be a while before I could ever play. So finally, I woke up this morning to a reply from them saying, our records show that we sent you a code and that code has been redeemed.
Uh-oh.
So I checked. I got up and I checked. I woke up this morning and I looked at my email, and then I sat there in bed for a minute and I thought, that's going to bug me. I can't go back to sleep. I got to check. Because I thought, did I redeem this? And I don't remember. So I went to my Steam library and I was like, nope, it's not there. So that's when I made mention to you guys about what I had done. Finally, I got back in touch with them, and I argued the point that they had said it had been sent to me and also redeemed. Mm-hmm. And I said, if it has been redeemed, if you guys show that it's been redeemed, then could you please send it again? If it is redeemed, then there's no chance for me to be able to redeem it twice or sell it off. Mm-hmm. And also, that way I can use it to make sure that I have redeemed it, or I can plug it in or something like that to see if it's been redeemed on my account. Mm-hmm. And they sent me the code again. I did redeem it. I didn't get any error message on Steam saying this code has already been redeemed, because it had not. So I finally got my code, and I do have it now. So I installed it before we started the show today. I have it installed on the PC. I don't know when I'll get around to playing it, but I will. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, what else? Anything else? You started Wolf?
Yeah, started Wolf. I haven't got.
Did you say you bought that or Redboxed it? Or
I bought it.
Okay,
I bought that one. Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. It was one of those purchases I knew I was going to be picking up anyway when I heard about it.
Assassin's Creed Origins has a steelbook as well.
Want to pick it up?
It's really pretty. It's $90.
Never mind.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
I'm kind of...
I know you like steelbooks, but you're not buying a collector's edition just to get the steelbook.
I'm kind of holding off until Black Friday rolls around, because hopefully it'll be discounted, and maybe if the steelbook is still out there, I can snag it.
Did you want to play the game?
I have some interest in checking it out, yes.
Okay.
But I am not in any kind of mood to be spending $90 to start playing that game.
And that's going to be another story-based game where play through and be...
I think it will be, yeah. I think it will be. I saw some deals for the PC version, but I still was not like, yeah, I didn't. Mm-hmm. So, Spam Daddy has a question. I can't figure out the something edition of Shadow of War. I can't figure out if the something edition of Shadow of War has a steelbook. I'm not sure if it does, Spam Daddy. I just picked up that game for $7. I just really love steelbooks. I visited a friend who works at GameStop here in town, and she gave me a Mario hat, like it is in Mario Odyssey with the eyes and everything.
Right.
But I noticed on the back of the shelf there, I asked her, I was like, do you guys get steelbooks in here? Just empty steelbooks or steelbooks that, you can just, that didn't come with games or anything? She's like, yeah, we get them all the time. Because we get the games, and then we have to put the games in these little slip things, and then we put the cases somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah.
And I said, look, if you ever get a surplus of those things, you mind holding some for me? Because, so getting the word out there that I really love those. I would love that Assassin's Creed Steelbook with or without game. Mm-hmm. It's really beautiful. I have intentions and plans to kind of decorate rooms in the house with Steelbook covers against the wall, kind of like framed and things like that. Mm-hmm. Not talking about home decoration here, but yeah, that's kind of what my plan is.
Frame a steelbook?
Well, I've seen. I obviously I'm a fan of this thing, so I belong to groups and things like that.
Right.
Subreddits and things where you can talk to people who share your hobby, and they talk about how they display their steelbooks. And there's plenty of ideas around there about how to really nicely display these things. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah. I have a lot as far as movies are concerned, but I have very little as far as games are concerned. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, is that it? That's all you played?
Yeah, there's those 2 games this week.
Let's jump over to the phones and talk to Chris because he has been waiting very patiently. Hey, Chris, you're on the air.
What's going on, y'all?
Not much. You're playing the South Park game, aren't you?
Yes, I took a break from it today to finish up YS8. I'm basically right at the end of it. I want to get it out of the way and then jump back into South Park. But I've been enjoying the living stew out of it. It is hilarious.
I have enjoyed the little bit that I played, but I'm so little into it that I really can't pass too much judgment on it just yet. You know, I didn't like the fact that I only had 3 characters to pick from as far as like my superpowers, but I know that expands as you progress.
Yeah, it does expand. You get multiple ones, and you can change them at will later on too. So.
Right. And so, I mean, I know that option's there, and I know that option's coming, and I just haven't, I haven't played enough to really get into it. I do like it. What I like about the game is that I can just lay in bed, fire on the PS4, play a little bit of this game, and not get worked up, you know? Turn-based combat doesn't really put me in a hectic state of, I don't want to say excitement, but that whole thing where you get your energy amped up and you're getting all frantic because you got to perform a combat move and all these button presses. I don't have to do any of that with this.
I'm about to say, it's not quite that turn your brain off and just play type thing, is it?
It's no, but I mean
there's some thought and things involved. I'm not getting.
It's enough to where it doesn't like energize me enough to where I can't go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not overbearing. There's a little bit of tactics in it, but just minimal.
Yeah, like I can't fire up Destiny 2 and play it because I'll either want to get into Crucible, which can be some frantic stuff, or I just want to go around and shoot stuff, which again has some franticness to it if I want to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But in South Park, I can actually do stuff, and when I say it that way, I mean things that have consequence on my character, things that move the game along.
Mm-hmm.
In Destiny, there's very little in there that's going to move the game along where I'm at currently.
Yeah.
But it will. But Destiny will energize me, snap me out of any kind of, hey, I'm ready to go to bed type thing, and keep me awake. Mm-hmm. South Park, not so much. I move around, I get into combat. It's turn-based combat, so I can look at it and say, I think I'll do this move, fire it off, do this. Nothing feels hectic, pressure, or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So that's what I feel like one of those games could be. So, but yeah, so there's that. Have you played anything else?
I've been playing Stardew Valley on the Switch recently as well, but yeah, there's some funny scenes way on into South Park that are absolutely hilarious. So if you do get further along in the story, you'll come across that one and with having to do with Kyle's mother. So that one's pretty funny.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll just have it's part of a side quest thing.
I'm totally fine at leaving it at that.
Yeah,
that's totally fine. At least on the radio.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm not going to go into details of what happens and all.
Yeah,
that.
please don't.
Yeah, it has to do with Kyle's cousin, and then there's a second one that follows up, and then Kyle's mother gets involved in all that. So
Yeah.
But it's a funny outcome.
All right, man. Well, thanks for calling. What do you? I guess you've got more to do in that game.
Yeah, I've got more. I don't know how far I am into it, but I'm pretty long. I've got about 20, 25 hours or so, maybe even more than that. But yeah, I've been having a blast with it.
Okay. Well, I hope you'll call in next week and give us more of an update on how far you've gotten with it and what else you're playing, man.
Yeah, I did see. If y'all are aware of the Alpha Omega Sin on YouTube, the other day he was broadcasting live, and I saw one of the future boss fights that would look, from what everybody's saying, it's almost impossible, and he was trying his darndest to get through it, but yeah, that one may cause me some problems whenever I get to it, but I don't know how far ahead he was in it, but I won't say anything about that, but so far it's been really fun.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling, as always, man.
All right, y'all have a good afternoon.
Take care.
Take care now.
Bye.
All right, so I actually do have some things to kind of discuss. Kotaku released a fantastic article. Jason, and I'm going to mess up his last name, Jason Schreier. The guy who wrote that book that Sarah gave me.
Yeah.
Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. He did a fantastic article about Visceral's closing EA closing down Visceral Studios,
Yeah.
working on the Star Wars game. So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of insight in there. Now he didn't actually, from what I understand, he did not interview Amy to find out about her take on things. I don't think he did ask to speak with her about that, but I think EA said that she is not allowed to discuss that at this time, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Like she can't talk about it. But he talked to some former employees who remained anonymous to get some ideas of what was going on. It's a fascinating article about the process of a game developing. Not only that, but the process of a Star Wars game and everything that has to go through there. And so I'll touch a little bit on that. The Kinect is officially dead. Most people thought it was dead a long time ago, but officially it is dead. Microsoft is not making them anymore.
Just no one thought about it for a while.
Yeah,
That was all it was.
It is absolutely done. There are some sales figures to talk about. We got a new Animal Crossing game coming to iPhones. There was... What else do we have? Oh, I guess it's a sad story. I don't know. The folks who make Warframe stopped production on their new game, The Amazing Eternals. So we'll talk about that and everything else. Plenty more coming your way. And thank you, Spam Daddy, for posting the article in the chat room. Appreciate that. Definitely an article. It's a long piece, but it's definitely something to read if you want to get an insight into how these games. You know, we all have an idea of how games are made, but this particular game, how a game can start going downhill and just to see how it comes around to eventually dying and what happens with that. The article did state that when they went into work on Tuesday, the 17th of this month, everything was just a regular Tuesday to them. They went to their usual morning meeting to see how things were going, and that is when they were told it was done.
Just suddenly, we're dead.
I know, right? Yeah. There was no warning. I mean, I think a lot of people probably had suspicions that it's probably going to come. They probably didn't know when, but they probably had a lot of suspicions about what was going on. Because, I mean, when you're working on a project, you can tell that things aren't going as planned.
Right.
You don't necessarily know that it's about to all end, but you can tell that, this isn't going the way it should be going at this time. So lots to talk about there and more on In-Game Chat. We're going back to a commercial break right now. We will do music for you during that time. I was going to save this for the last song of the show, but I didn't get ahead of the game on this one. Things got ahead of me. So here is music from Kingdom Hearts. It's basically the instrumental of Halloween Town, or This Is Halloween, but it's the music used for Halloween Town in Kingdom Hearts. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. I don't like to reuse music, but I did for this one. It is from the video game based on the movie Saw. Because I saw the new Saw movie yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get off work here at 3 in the afternoon, and I had to go work at the fair, and I needed to kill time until 6, so saw the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was looking up music for this, I was like, oh, yeah, I've used it before, but why not? I really like it. So, the music. I didn't necessarily like what I saw yesterday. But I enjoy the music.
They're running out of ideas, are they?
You know, they're not running out of ideas. They're not running out of ways to kill people horribly. They really aren't. That they can keep doing. But to have a story to put all of that stuff in there with some kind of context, that they're running short of.
Yeah.
That they are running massively. They've started running short of that by like 3. And this is number 8. This is the 8th film in the series? Yeah. So
you gotta run it into the ground then. If it keeps making money.
It's the Assassin's Creed of movies. Wait, there is an Assassin's Creed of movies, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
There's an Assassin's Creed movie, so that doesn't work. Let's go to the phones and talk to Multile, calling us all the way from Ireland, right?
Yep. Howdy. How's it going?
Hello.
You've
what's
got
on your
some
mind?
news to bring up then.
Do what?
You got some news then to bring up.
Well, yeah, I mean, Spam Daddy had a question in there about the system that I'm running. The specs he wants to know on my system. I think it's a 1200 power supply, which is about the only new thing in there next to the graphics card. I did pick up a 980 Ti for the graphics card. The
Okay, yeah.
the processor is an i7 3770K, I think. I could be wrong on the numbers. It's 30. I thought it was 3770, but it is an i7K, and it's got 16 gigs of RAM. So, yeah. Cooling issues. Yeah, no. There's fans all in that thing, but I noticed when I was playing Destiny how very, very, very warm the air that was coming out of that machine while I was playing Destiny. Which, by the way, oh yeah, I played Destiny with everything else turned off. As far as like, I didn't have anything running in the background. The only program open was Destiny. That was it. Destiny and Battle.net.
Did you say?
Do what?
Windows 7?
Yeah. It's Windows 7 too. Yeah.
See, I was watching a recent video on YouTube, and a guy, his name is J2Sense, I think it is. He was running Destiny on like the minimum spec requirements and the recommended spec requirements, and he was getting some good FPS. So I was expecting Destiny to be running reasonably okay, in the sense of not like overtaxing a machine. But hearing that sounds a bit odd.
Yeah. Spam says I'm set to shut down my game if I hit 65 degrees.
He sent me a message, and I'm going to see what his specs are and see if we can figure out some sort of as cheap a solution as we can. Using like PC Part Picker to see what will fit with his machine and that sort of thing. Because as with most of these sorts of builds that are running into cooling problems, my immediate reaction is if you're hitting that and you don't want to change the hardware, it's probably an all-in-one cooling system's probably going to be the best bet. But again, it all depends on what the machine is and how much money you're willing to spend on all that sort of caper, Yeah.
Yeah. No, I looked at the My First cooling system, which I think Corsair has, which it's all self-contained. It's not like one of these really, really cool things you see people run through with water cooling. But Corsair has like at the time I built mine, Corsair had some sort of liquid cooling system, but it was all built for you and self-contained, and you really didn't have to do much with it other than, install it into your system. Yeah.
That's an all-in-one. So you don't have to fiddle about with anything like the radiator. The pipes are to the radiator. It's all it's all self-contained. You just have to put the fans on yourself, sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm telling him. He was asking how long I played Destiny 2, and I'm telling him I played it about 3 hours. So yeah, but yeah, it was warmer than normal air coming out of there. I knew it was doing it's doing what it was supposed to be doing, which was pushing that game.
You said you were playing for 3 hours, but how long did it take for you to notice warm air coming out of there?
Not very long, because I played. Well, I had to play through the opening thing, the prelude or whatever
the recap
it is.
thing, yeah.
Well, not the recap, but the thing where Gaul kicks you and kills you.
Okay, well, that one too.
I had to play through like the opening to where I could get to where I was playing with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when I started to get to that part, which is probably 30 to 45 minutes in,
right?
Matt joined my team, and I hadn't set up my sound system yet, my communication system yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I could hear him, and I was giving him little emotes, telling him like, yes, I can hear you. Give me a second to set up my sound system.
Right.
So it was when I was plugging in my headphones, because I plugged them. I have a USB port that has to go in, and then I have another plug for the microphone cord that has to go in, or the speakers that have to go in. So when I was plugging those into the back of the machine, I could feel the air coming out of the top and coming out of the back, very, very warm.
So at least 30 minutes at least before.
At least I would say 45 to an hour in when I felt the warm air, and then I played for another 2 hours.
Okay.
So,
but no performance issues, just warm.
Just warm. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I kept Task Manager open so I could see my CPU usage.
Mm-hmm.
My GPU usage was getting nothing. CPU though was getting a lot. My GPU was like, sure, whatever, bring it. It's a 980 Ti. It was fine. It didn't care. My CPU was like, hey, I'm going to run it about 60% right now, and then it would dip back down into like 30 or 40%, and then it would jump back up during some stuff to even more than that. So there were times where I was looking at that, and I was really keeping an eye on it. It's like, ooh, this thing is pushing.
Do you have any sort of, have you fiddled about with the fans in your system?
I have not. I really haven't. I can get to where I can adjust those and stuff, but I really haven't messed with them. I really haven't honestly had a need to.
That's understandable. No, it's the first thing that popped into my head was if you're hitting 60%, maybe that's just slightly under the curve or where the fans would, sort of start to go like, oh, guys, we need to hurry up,
Yeah. Well,
maybe it's 70%.
I have, it's an MSI card, and so I've got the MSI overlay thing where you can look at the temperature of your CPU usage and everything else, and how to what's it called? Not Afterburner. That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The MSI Afterburner. So I've got all that in there to where I can adjust things and change things and get them to go. Speed up the fans, turn down the fans. I can optimize performance to go for a, energy efficient or really, really strong or something like that. I can, and then I can make the minute changes of like I'm going to move this up just a tick and then move this down one tick or something like that. I can change all those things. So I mean, I know where I can do that at, but I've never really had a need pretty much to do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't mind. So.
Oh yeah, especially if noise isn't your concern. If you're wearing a headset, I think I personally don't mind fans running in the background. At full tilt if that's.
I don't mind it running if it's keeping my system safe.
Yeah, exactly. I would prefer to overdo it in the cooling aspect rather than underdo it because that's going to burn out.
Exactly.
Burn out your hard-earned cash.
But yeah, so yeah, and I haven't really run Destiny much since then. So, and you know what? I could probably make some changes. I jumped in it the first day, and then I played it for maybe an hour the next day. Not very long either, and I haven't done much to optimize the performance. It's running fine, but I don't have any overlay to see what kind of FPS I'm getting out of it, and I could probably tone it down a little bit to get some faster movement or some better FPS. Out of the system itself, out of the game itself. So I could probably make some tweaks here and there. I haven't really gone through the whole optimization process. I ran the NVIDIA GeForce thing so it could look at my system and say, hey, you should run it at this. And it basically said you should run it at max, with the exception of running it at a 4K setting, which I'm not, because I've got a 1440 monitor. So it
I've
said
never really personally felt that those algorithms that they use to try and figure out what your settings should be have ever really worked for me. You know, like the system that I'm running at the moment, the graphics card I wouldn't say is a pretty powerful one. It's the RX 480 with the 8 GB one. So it's a more budget rather than it's not a 1080 or anything like that.
weren't you going to get Destiny 2 and play it?
Oh, not just yet. I
Okay.
will be picking it up very soon, but I've got a bit of project work to be getting on with, and I've got too many distractions that is with Steam and Overwatch.
No, understandable.
But yeah, as soon as I jump in, I'll be on the Discord and trying to flag down anybody to play with me. You know.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You sounded like you had a. Oh God, now I'm forgetting the name of them. Is it ATI? Are they still ATI, or what are they now?
No. Oh well, yeah.
AMD.
Bought,
They're AMD.
Yeah, AMD bought the sort of enveloped the ATI sort of.
I didn't hear
business.
good things about how the AMD cards were handling Destiny 2.
Oh well, I played the demo, I keep saying demo. It's supposedly open beta sort of thing, but it's really just a demo to be honest, because they're not really working out too many bugs at that stage.
I read that a lot of AMD guys or a lot of AMD players were having problems with the with running Destiny 2. They may have already patched that and fixed it though.
Well, again, I'm only one point on the graph, and I didn't have any issues. I thought it was an enjoyable time. You know, the only issues I had was I didn't realize that I had powers that I could do. Like, you know, I think I missed maybe how to do a grenade and how to do powers or something. Maybe just try to fly through the tutorial and maybe missed them or something. But
Yeah.
I had no idea. I saw all the other characters doing stuff and was like, oh, maybe I should check my controls. But yeah, I had no issues.
All right. Yeah, I'll look into that. I want to tweak it a little bit more just to see what I can do better with that. Not only to bring down the amount of power that it's drawing to run the thing, but also to improve performance of the game itself. It looks fine. It really, really does. But that was just me jumping in and playing for a good while. I really haven't sat there and done some really good... And I haven't done this in a long time either. I think it was Arkham Knight was the last time I really did some deep diving into how I wanted my settings on my PC done for a game.
Well, that's understandable for that one.
Yeah. And but Destiny offers a lot of tweaking for graphical options. I mean, this is and I think we all knew this, but this is not some kind of quick port. Obviously, it's not quick. It took them a month and a half to get the thing out after released on console.
Yeah, a delay of a month and a half. You know,
yeah.
It's not like they weren't working at this in tandem.
So yeah, this thing is well optimized for PCs. There's a lot of stuff under the hood that you can mess around with to get the performance you want from it. So it's I'm very happy with it, honestly. But yeah. So anyway, talking about some news. What time is it right now? Yeah, we could jump into a few things here. The Kinect is dead. They're done with the Kinect. I doubt you. I don't think you ever had one. I
had the early edition. I had the one on the 360.
See, my first Kinect came with my Xbox One because they were bound and determined to push that onto everybody. And so when I got my Xbox One,
you had to.
Yeah, when I got the Xbox One, the first one, it came with a Kinect, and I didn't use it to save my life, man. I used it to talk to my system. That was it.
What was about 3 months or 6 months before Microsoft came out with that version that didn't have the Kinect?
I think it was. Let's see. It was about 3 months.
3 months afterwards, yeah.
It was about. I would go with 3 more than I would with like 2 months. But yeah,
Yeah.
It was around 3 months when they said, "Hey, here's a SKU that's $100 cheaper and it doesn't have a Kinect." And then that thing did so great that that was it. They just didn't offer the Kinect anymore.
You know, I saw a good tweet. You know, one of those story in 4 parts, and they had the picture of it like Kinect for every Xbox, and it's like, oh well, it's not for every Xbox. And then the lead guy currently at the moment was saying, oh, we love the Kinect and we're going to support it. And then 2 years later, it's like, oh, completely dead.
It is now dead. They are not making any more. It is officially over. So, Animal Crossing as a mobile game on your phones.
Not smart. Now, it's not to say that I'm going to put any time into it. If it's free to download, I'll have a wee nosy. Maybe if it's something like Mario, where you get a little portion at the start to play, but that's just genuinely smart from them to be earning some cash.
It really is, yeah. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp is the name of it. And as the name suggests, instead of taking place in a town, Pocket Camp puts you in a campground when you run around doing chores for animals so you can build furniture and improve your stuff. And then you can live in a camper van. The game has multiplayer. It'll be a free download on iOS and Android when it's out in November. And I'm sure there are all sorts of microtransactions in there, things that can speed up stuff so you can pay money and do that sort of thing with. But yeah, I'm guessing this is sort of in the same vein. I'm curious. This obviously isn't coming from the Pokemon people. This, I guess, is probably coming from the Nintendo people who did the Mario Run version of this, because this is clearly Nintendo branded, whereas Pokemon Go was not.
Yeah, that was Niantic.
That was not.
That.
Yeah, that was not Nintendo branded on that one. This one is very, very much Nintendo branded. So I think it'll do well for them. I really think it'll do well.
It's a very smart move, and I actually think that with them trying, like their Miitomo thing, like it was trying to encapsulate quite a lot of the aspects of what they thought, mobile development and mobile engagement is actually going to be about. Yeah. I think they've put a good foot forward with this game, for for getting some money anyway.
Now, did you read that article that Spam Daddy posted in the chat room about the Visceral Games shutting down or EA shutting down Visceral Games?
I've heard quite a good bit on it, but I've only had a quick cursory glance at the link. It does look. The headline of that I want to actually bring up was someone from the team. I think it was either on Gamasutra or PC Gamer. They had said that them cancelling this was a mercy killing, which, well, as a headline, that is certainly catchy anyway. It did. Maybe something was going wrong there, but
yeah, I wanted to say I think I saw the same thing, the same little headline there about it being a mercy killing. They kind of in fact, there were some people who said they should have killed this way earlier than what they were doing. By letting it go on this way, by letting it go on as long as it was and not really gaining any ground to be a release, that it was doing more harm than it was good by continuing to just kind of let that thing continue to keep going. Whereas they should have killed it earlier on, saved some money, and started a refresh that thing, start anew with it. Instead of just pushing the release date back, keep pushing it back. Because they were wasting money, wasting time. They were losing people because people were leaving and not staying around, and they really weren't making any progress with it. So
that doesn't sound good at all. Like it for something like this, I think it's very hard to try and compare and contrast. What the producers are thinking in comparison to what the team's actually doing, because like if you're focused on one item and someone's giving you a task and you're focused on that one item, and then you've just been told that your job's been completely, we're shutting you down, all your teammates are getting fired basically.
Yeah,
I could say that you probably come away rather salty, going, that game that I was spending all that time on, I know I was doing good work. So when you try and compare it to how they let it run on as long, maybe they were thinking that we've already cancelled. What was it that there was another Star Wars game with the very popular guy
1313?
Yeah, there you go. Numbers and names were just going right out of my head.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, they had already cancelled that, and maybe they were just saying, we need to try and push through on a single player because everything else is going to be multiplayer. And we're going to get maybe hit hard in the media with this, but I don't know. Again, I didn't read through that, and it's hard to know what they were really thinking on the inside.
Well, they were trying to get something out there in the Star Wars universe that had some sort of a very much a single player feel, something akin to 1313 that got a lot of great reaction, even though that was dead. Something that was close to Uncharted, something that was close to Tomb Raider for that experience. Just a single player adventure on a very grand scale. And they were trying to do that and trying to get in that direction, and the bringing in of Amy Hennig from Naughty Dog was one way that they thought that was going to help them do that. And everybody that Jason had talked to about this whole thing gave great credit to Amy for a storyteller, for writing a story and developing a story and doing that. Not so much, though, for everything else. Now, and I think... Well, it also says that in there that a lot of people think that she was untrustworthy of the team that she was with because she had come from Naughty Dog that did things completely differently than what they do at EA. Not only that, Uncharted... And
they were already started on the project as well, were they not?
Do what?
They were already started on the project before she came in?
From what I understand, they had already started on the idea of this is what they wanted. And then Amy kind of focused that idea...
Regardless of what happened after that by itself sounds already like major friction. It's like you're an outsider coming into our team trying to tell us what we've already been discussing for years.
Actually, no. A lot of people weren't too bad about that. A lot of people were happy that they came on that she came on because they thought, oh, this is great. Look what she's done. We're going to, this is going to be good for us. Because I think Amy coming in gave them a focus point to direct everything to her and say, hey, is this? Do you if they could get the stamp of approval from her, then they knew they were doing it right, rather than still kind of being iffy with it. The problem was getting her stamp of. We're going to go into this. We got to take a break. Can you hang on the line?
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Of course.
I'm going to put you on hold. And then when we come back, we'll have Moltal back on. I'll kind of go over, give you the too long didn't read of this whole story that was on Kotaku, but the story is posted in the chat room. Definitely give it a read if you can. We're going to go to a break here. We've got music now from... That's not right. That shouldn't be...
Never play that game.
That shouldn't be there. Hang on a second. Did I not send everything over? I swear. And then I clicked on the wrong thing.
It has been a day, folks.
Hadn't it?
What'd you got to pick from?
Oh, no. I did it right. Never mind. I was good. We were fine. I got... there's a game called Little Nightmares, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that the game? And we'd use Little Nightmares. Well, there's another game called Never Ending Nightmares, and I thought I got the two confused.
Okay.
This is music from Never Ending Nightmares.
All right.
I've met the developer on this. This was a Kickstarter thing, and I met with him at one of the PAXs that I was in. And this is a game that takes place completely in black and white. It's very... The art style is kind of Edward Gorey art style.
Okay.
If you're familiar with that art style.
I probably have to look them up.
Yeah, if I showed you, you'd know who I was talking about. Anyway, it's called Last Lullaby. We'll be right back with more in-game chat after this. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. This is music here from Alone in the Dark, called The Light...
Very ominous.
Yes, it's called The Light Carrier. That is Multal you heard on the phone. He is calling all the way from Ireland. Also, RJ in here with me. Matt will join us again next week on the show. Kind of going over this whole Visceral's, the cancellation of not only the Star Wars game that Visceral was working on, but the closing down of Visceral Studios. So, Visceral
Only got about a fifth of the way into that argument, by the way. Sorry, not the argument, the article.
The article, yeah. The Visceral Studios is located in San Francisco. Apparently, it's very expensive to run a studio in San Francisco. Cost of living is much higher there.
California.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
The idea was that around San Francisco, it's like $16,000. I don't know if it's a month or what it was, but the difference was they were getting paid, where a developer may get paid $10,000, they were getting paid $16,000 to cover the expenses of what San Francisco, how much it costs to work and operate out of San Francisco. So they decided to make a new studio in Vancouver that is much more open to the video game industry and very tax lenient on taxes with the entertainment industry, that sort of thing.
Right.
I heard it's quite expensive there as well.
Well, that's where Jade Raymond came into play, because she was going to build that studio there to help them out with the Star Wars game that Amy Hennig was working on.
Well, just a quick Google. San Francisco is 62.6 higher than the U.S. average, so it sounds pretty expensive, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It is. And so they were kind of bleeding money in that regard, so they wanted to make a studio in Vancouver that could work on a lot of the games and kind of cut cost a little bit. The Vancouver studio, by the way, ended up making the single-player section of what will be in Battlefield 2, or Battlefront 2. It's Battlefront, not Battlefield. Battlefront. Be in Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's what they eventually worked on. They were going to work on this, but they pulled them off of this project of this Star Wars game and put them on the Battlefront 2 single-player aspect of that game. But anyway, brought in Amy Hennig. Everybody was happy with that. They figured this is someone who can tell us if what we're doing, if we're on the right track with what she wants us to do. Amy was developing this story. They were finally coming together on how they were going to make this thing and how the story was going to go and what it was going to involve. In fact, it was going to be called Ragtag, I think.
Yep, I see that name appearing quite a lot in this article.
Yeah, it was going to be called Ragtag, and you were going to play not only as one person, but maybe a group of people, because it was a team of it was a heist game, basically, set in the Star Wars universe. When the EA executives got a hold of it, they looked at it and they said, well, where's the Wookiee, you know? Where's all the aspects of Star Wars? Because none of that was in here. There were no Jedis. There were no lightsabers. Mm-hmm. There was nothing like that. It was going to be massively original. And the marketing team from EA were kind of out of touch in that sense. They looked at a Star Wars game and they said, well, where's our blatant Star Wars stuff that we can market this with? And so there was a problem there. The other problem that Amy talked about, or not that Amy talked about, but that Jason talked about, was that when Amy worked at Naughty Dog, they kind of had their own, they were able to do their own thing. When they had ideas, they just ran it through their team there and said, do you think this will work? I don't know. Let's see. Let's try. Okay, it works. Great. If not, let's tweak it so that we can figure out a better way to make it work. Here, because it was involved with Star Wars, everything had to go through Lucasfilm. Everything had to filter through Lucasfilm and come back. So when they had a character design or a character idea or anything that was Star Wars related, they had to send that out. So where it may take a day or two when she was with Naughty Dog, this would take weeks or months to get.
Just imagine that just happening in your day-to-day life. You know, you're having to talk with someone that isn't local all the time about every single action you're going to take. That just sounds painful. No wonder they were starting to bleed money.
Yeah, no.
No, is that like one character, or they'd send like a set of characters or whatever?
Well, when she had the main character, they had to approve the design of the main character.
Okay, so that one character.
Yeah, they had to approve the design of the main character, had to approve what weapon is he using. Is this within, because of continuity and everything else that is involved with Star Wars. I mean, you're working on something that is already established.
Right.
So while if you want to make a new character, that's fine, but they have to exist within that universe. And here's the limitations of how that universe works. Does this person fit in, or does aspects of this person fit in? The guns that they use, or the ships that they're using, all of that sort of thing. Is that in canon? Is that within the universe? When you're sending that stuff off to do. Because unfortunately, this is EA. They're licensed to make games, but they don't have free license to make those games. Battlefront is easier to do because you take a stormtrooper's a stormtrooper, You get all your assets from Lucasfilm saying, here's the guns, here's the people, go ahead. You're not making anything original. Mm-hmm. And if you do, again, because of the story and setting and everything else, it's got to go through them. And it took forever. And then some of the developers, some of the people working on the game also said it was hard working with Amy, because Amy would go down to the studios to oversee the voice acting and the motion capturing and everything else, and she would be out of touch for them to send their approvals to get from her. Mm-hmm. It was one thing to get everything back from Lucasfilm, but then when they would make changes or they would make progression into the development, it had to also go through her. A lot of the team said that she took on too much, mainly because of where she had come from. She came from Naughty Dog, where she trusted all of those people to do. They knew what they were doing. They were 4 Uncharted games in. Mm-hmm. So when she came over to Star Wars and working on that, their dynamic was a lot different than what it was at Naughty Dog. Everybody was forced to use the same engine, the Frostbite engine. EA was very big on that. This is the engine you're going to use, and that engine was not necessarily built for a single player story. Is what I'm saying. Is what I was reading in this. They talked about the short demo that was shown at E3 2 years ago, I think it was. And I say short demo, it was a brief clip. I mean, he's got the entirety of it in his article in a quick GIF form, and then that's it. It's just basically the main character, camera behind him. He's walking out of a hut or some house. He walks up to the door. He puts his hand up on the door and then continues to walk, and then you see 2 ships fly over real fast and that sort of thing. They said that little nuance where the character sort of interacts with the environment in such a way that it's just really fluid and natural took forever to build. These are things that Naughty Dog has been doing for a long time. Mm-hmm. They can get these things sort of down where Nathan interacts with the environment in a way that anybody else would, or a character would interact.
But if you compare those sorts of movements and such into the Frostbite engine, they've never really had to do that before either.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware from the previous games, you're not. It's all sort of like Call of Duty 2 sort of built shapes. All the doors are open, all the windows are open, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're not exactly interacting with objects. You're not throwing open chests. You're not diving into a particular cover that might be a different shape to the cover that you might be diving into. All these sorts of things trying to match up into an engine that hasn't done it before. They're going to need to be. They're literally working from the ground up. They may have an engine to work off, but they're going to have to start implementing their own code on top of that. It's not something that's already sort of pre-built, like you said. So even when they start doing their motion capture and stuff, that isn't built on the same groundwork as, like you said, Uncharted is, where they started off with the framework of what they wanted to do, and they have built years and years and years on top of that. So it already, you're getting the experience plus the engine's capabilities all sort of built in within that. So they've got like tools, shorthands, there's different ways of talking about it. I could see that being a big problem for them. Yeah.
All this while, they're spending more money on this game. They're not meeting deadlines. I think the game was supposed to release in 2016, and then it got pushed to 2018, and then of course they canceled it this year. From what I remember reading in the article, but it would run. They were. She was coming from a place that, it was one studio of about 200 people working on a game, and here she was at a studio under a bigger umbrella, Visceral, that was owned by EA, and she only had, I think, maybe 30 or 40 people who was working on this with her, which is why they were going to move do the Montreal studio and bring more people on to work on this thing at a cheaper rate, of course. And it just never developed. People would be leaving the job because they would start letting people go. They pulled her off of this. They pulled her off of this Star Wars game for a while early on when they hired her and put her on Battlefield Hardline because some of the DLC for that they wanted her to work on. And again, it just, I don't know. A lot of people, or the article says that there are people who put the blame on a lot of people for this. EA, Amy, maybe even LucasArts. I think it's Lucasfilm, actually, yeah. So there is no...
I don't know. From the little bit, of course, everything that I've said so far is pure speculation and just, off the hip sort of just random opinions. But from the little bits that you've covered and the little bits that I've heard off videos and such, it just sounds like the resources weren't being met for a single-player game. And then on top of that, at the near the very start of the article, I think it's about quarter of the way in, you've got EA saying something like, it didn't fit with, did not fit with EA's focus on games as a service, a common phrase referring to yada, yada, yada.
Well, he interviewed a former Visceral employee who said, honestly, it was a mercy killing. You talked about this. It had nothing to do with whether it was going to be single player. I don't think it had anything to do with that. That game never could have been good and come out. Another employee or former employee said, I think EA gave us too much leeway. If anything, EA should have probably canceled this project earlier. I think they were too nice and gave us too many opportunities.
Again, they're going to have a better opinion than I am of it. As a outside observer, of course. It seems like it was sort of the focus didn't seem to be there for someone anyway. Like EA weren't like, this is the dedicated team. You're going to work on this. So maybe all this, moving about and shifting of teams and shifting of staff might have impacted the scope, and then it was like the scope's still massive. We've got a tiny team, and it's still coming out in 2016 sort of thing. And it's like, yeah, they haven't really tried to pick up the slack with additional team members, or this extension of 2 years isn't going to do too much if you don't have the staff to work on it. But again, complete speculation anyway.
Yeah, it says meanwhile, EA Vancouver is essentially starting from scratch on their own Star Wars game. As the publisher announced when it said Visceral was closing.
Yeah, I don't know why. See, this is the other odd thing as well. All about this, it seems that big, massive developers want to keep everything close to their chest and release news, little tidbits and such. Why would something like this even come out? Because there's already Star Wars games on the horizon. You don't need to say that we've got another team working on another game. That just puts pressure. That's just pressure that isn't needed to be there unless they have already been working on it for 2, maybe 3 years.
Well, the Vancouver team is the ones that made the single player portion of Battlefront 2. So obviously they've got something built that they can work off of and make something else with. So I think in that sense, they have more confidence there. Is that there we go? You can get this thing done. I don't know if Amy is still with them or not. I figure when she signed with them, she was probably under some kind of contract that should keep her there, regardless of what happens. Or if they break contract, she gets something out of it. So yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't reached out to her, and I probably will soon. Just to kind of put something out there.
Well, as with most things for this, I hope all the people that need jobs are getting scooped up by good teams. And
well, it says that in the article.
It
says that EA gave everybody there a chance to find more job opportunities within the company.
Mm-hmm.
Because
that's at least a good turn.
Yeah, EA's a big company, so they kind of said, "Look, see what you can find in some of our other studios." And then there was a big Twitter campaign for some of the people who lost their jobs there, trying to get them to get positions elsewhere. So this wasn't as far as the people who lost their jobs. It didn't sound as bad as what it was. I think some of these people were able to keep jobs elsewhere, get jobs elsewhere within the company, or find some other jobs elsewhere also. It wasn't... I've seen other studios close where it's very, very bad.
No, we have seen that before in the past. It's not a nice thing to see as well, especially when you're expecting that to come out and it sounds good as well, and it's just like that's been done, it's deleted completely off the market, and the team's gone, and it's horrible to think about as well. They're not a nice time for them.
Yeah. So anyway, read that article. It's fantastic. Like I said, I'll see about reaching out to Amy maybe this week or next week. I haven't talked to her in a while, so just to say hello. She's probably not going to tell me anything. I'm not going to get I can tell you this. I'm not going to get some weird insight that nobody else has, because I still don't know what happened at Naughty Dog to make her leave. I don't know. Well,
again,
let me put it this way. I have a very good idea of what happened, but I can't tell you how I know that, but I've got a very good idea. But it's just one of those things where I think she's probably bound legally where she can't really talk about it. All I really want to know is, are you still employed by them, or are you now looking for other work? What's going on? I'm just kind of curious with that.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. I talked to her, the last time I talked to her in depth was PAX last year. She and I met for lunch real quick at in Seattle, because she was the head speaker, or she was the keynote speaker for PAX, and so she had like a day, and so after her keynote, she and I met up for some lunch later that day, and we talked a good bit about the game coming up. She told me it doesn't even have a title. I said, when are we going to see this? She's like, maybe E3 again, but I doubt it. There was just a lot of...
it sounds...
Yeah, just a lot of, I'd rather not say, because I really don't know if anything's happening. So... Oh,
yeah, sure. Most of these people that are working on games are completely tied up with NDAs and all that sort of caper, so I'm not surprised you're not going to be getting too much out of people.
Yeah. Well, Motel, I got to start wrapping things up here, man. Thank you so much for calling, as always.
Oh, not a problem. It's always a joy to call.
Yeah.
I hope both of you have a great night and hopefully have a nice day.
I plan on playing some games tomorrow, man. I got a lot to do. My day is still not over with. I got a lot to do tonight, and then I plan on enjoying my day tomorrow with video games. So,
good job. And RJ, hope you have a nice day as well.
Thank you much, man. You have a good one now.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so we need to wrap things up here as it gets closer to the end of the show. There was more. I wanted to go over the Amazing Eternals, which was the new game from the Warframe guys,
folks who
and they stopped production on it. Which
that game's still going strong, man. I still see
Warframe's doing fine. By the way, there is no problem with that. It was just the development of their new game not going so great.
Yeah,
which seems to be the common story now when people try to do new stuff. It seems to start to fall through. All right, want to thank everybody for joining us in the chat room. Want to thank everybody for listening on the stream and on the radio. Want to thank everybody who grabs us each week from iTunes or however you get our show for later use. We do appreciate it. Go to ingamechat.net. Join us on Twitter or Facebook, our forums at colonyofgamers.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You're watching us on Twitch. Subscribe to our Twitch channel. We've got a Steam group. We've got an Xbox group. We've got a PS4 group. We've got a Destiny 2 clan that you can join up with. It is in-game chat on all of those. So if you're looking for us, just go to just type in in-game chat in any kind of search bar, and you'll be able to find us.
It's open, right?
Huh?
Make sure it's open, right?
Our membership is open. Our clan membership is completely open. People can come and go as they like. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. Have a great week, and we will see you next Saturday. Here is music from Layers of Fear. This track is called The Office. We'll see you next Saturday.